Hey everybody, welcome to another Mondays with Mark on the Tuesday edition. Hey, I'm out at the golf course here today, but I want to share something with you. Happened to me last week on my Thursday edition of Mondays with Mark. Man, I went and took that boat up to Chautauqua fishing for those big muskies. Rained cats and dogs, man, like you can't believe. I mean, the rain would not cease. I fished for over 8 hours on last Thursday and just, man, couldn't pull a fish in chasing those big muskies. And I want you to take note of something. I just posted before this video a picture, and I'm going to tell you about that picture right now. What happened? Well, it rained so bad on Thursday. Friday I got up and it was even worse, and I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm out of here. So I go out to the dock, and I'm going to put everything away on the boat. I left all the tackle out. I left all the gear out. I mean, I was soaking wet, chilled to the bone. And I went out there and put everything away, and on my way to put stuff away, I stuck my hand in one of the tackle boxes, and doggone if that big old hook about that big didn't stick right here in my hand. I worked on that thing, the wind's blowing, banging the boat against the dock, the waves are crashing over the back, and I just can't get this hook out. So I go to my buddy Joe's, I get off the dock, I walk up, he's our next door neighbor, and I go to Joe's house and I'm banging on the kitchen door. I hold my hand up and he sees this giant lure hanging. And he goes, dude, what's up? I go, man, I'm hurt. I need some help. I've been working on this for 20 minutes. I can't get this hook out of my hand. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm going to put the boat on the lift or on my trailer and get it home, call it a day. He says, come on in. I know exactly what to do. Sit down. And I go, whoa, wait a minute. You're a little too ambitious here, Joe. How about we just go to the hospital and let the pros do it? He said, no, I know exactly what to do. Sit down. He puts a white cloth over on his dining room table. I sit down and he gets out these giant bolt cutters. He says, I'm going to cut that hook off, and I'll push it through the skin, pinch the barb, and pull it back out. And I go, oh, no, I don't think so, Joe. That sounds painful. He says, come on, you'll be fine. He says, you want a shot or something? I says, I don't need a shot. I said, hey, you're talking to a leadership expert here, a thought leader, a guru. I says, I'll just think my way through this. I'll control my inputs. I won't feel the pain. So he starts banging away with that bolt cutter, and he cuts the hook off of the lure, and then he gets the hook itself cut. And let me tell you, there's just pain going through my body. And he pushes the hook all the way through and grabs it and pulls it out the other end. And I'm like, wow, okay, fine. At least that's over. That's good. I can get on with my day now. This is about 9 o'clock in the morning. He says, you going to fish today? I says, no, I'm done. I said, I had enough, Joe. I said, I'm soaked to the bone. No fish out there today. I said, I was foolish for going out anyhow. He said, yeah, I tried to tell you that yesterday. He said, that's why I didn't want to go with you. So here's the funny part. I go out to the boat, I pack it all up, I go to the dock where I had left my truck and my trailer, the launch ramp, and I back up the trailer, and I'm trying to get the boat on, and I can't get the boat on. I mean, the winds are crashing over the back, the waves are blowing, and it's just incredible weather. So I got it halfway on the trailer, but I didn't know that. So I pull the trailer out, it's not on. I figured, I'll just clamp that thing down. Nah, there's no Q in the E5 Leadership Academy language. Q's for quitter. I said, I'm going to get this done. Put it back in the water. Couldn't get it done, put it back out, said, all right, I'm done. I tried twice, now I'm good. I strap it all down, pull the plug out of the boat, and I'm heading down to drive. And it pops in my head again, there's no Q in the E5 Leadership Academy. You can't quit. All right, I'll get it. So I put it back into the water, and I figured, all right, I take the straps off, I'll put it back in the water, the boat will float up, and I'll be able to pull it with a rope all the way over onto the trailer so that it's centered. Because I missed center by about 1.5 feet. You can imagine me riding home with a boat hanging off the trailer like this. I'd look like a goober. So I put that boat back in the water. It ain't moving. So I get in the truck and I back it in deeper. It still isn't moving. I back it in even deeper. Now I got the back bumper on my truck into the water. I'm driving an Escalade. Doggone it, that boat is just not moving. So I'm pulling on the rope, pulling. I can't get it over. I stop for a minute. I'm like this. I take a look inside the boat. Eureka, it dawns on me. The doggone life jacket's floating. I forgot to put the plug in and the boat's sinking. And it sunk right back on the trailer where it was. So I pull the boat back out. All the water gets drained out finally. I'm frustrated. I'm ready to call it a day. I strapped that boat up and I called Joe. And I said, Joe, I should have let you help me. I'm sorry. I says, man, can you help me? I'll come right over and get you. So I go over and get him. We go back into the launch ramp again. And this time he goes in the water and he puts the boat right up on the trailer just perfectly. And everything's just right. We get it out. And he's laughing his head off at me. Because now it's 11:30 in the morning. So for 2.5 hours, I've been fooling around with this doggone boat trying to get it on there. So we go back to the condo, or his house, and he says to me, he goes, hey, Mark, you can't drive. He said, you had some minor surgery this morning. He said, I can see it in your face. He says, you just need to sit down and rest for a minute here. So I changed my clothes and got out of my wet clothes and my dry clothes because I'm soaking wet. So it was really hilarious. I mean, what a funny day. I got a hook in the hand. I actually broke the boat. I forgot to tell you that. It was banging up against the dock and broke the transducer. And then I couldn't get it onto the trailer, and then I had to have help, and I couldn't get the help. And Joe and I tried to lift that thing and move it and do all kinds of stuff when we were over his house. And then we finally ended up putting it back in the water and doing it anyhow. So it's 1 o'clock before I get on the road, heading back home, and I'm thinking, there's a great leadership lesson here. I haven't figured it out yet, but there is. And it came to me this morning. Here's the big takeaway. Here's the big leadership lesson. Power of submission. Man, I talked my way through the pain in that hook. I talked my way through everything, controlled my inputs, didn't lose my temper and swear or anything like that, but I was getting frustrated. And what I forgot to do was submit to my humility. Joe offered to help me. And I said, no, I'll do it. I'll do it myself. Forget about the 35-mile-an-hour winds. Forget about the 2-foot waves crashing over the back of the boat. I'll get it on the trailer, no problem. You did enough taking the hook out of my hand. So, there you go. Power of submission. I didn't practice submission, and I certainly didn't practice what I would call humility. I didn't allow all of the people around me to add value to me and help me where they could. And another thing, too. The second point I would say to you is stupid is as stupid does. Man, always put the plug back in your boat before you drop that thing back in the water. Hey, it's good being with you. I wanted to share a funny story and tie some leadership into it as well. And I got to get back out here on a golf course. You just heard one of the tractors go by here. So I'll see you later. We'll talk to you soon. God bless you, and you have a great day.